please don't let me go.
Oh.
I have 3 children.
Oh.
Imagine someone saying that to you.
Mm.
Please don't let me go. I have 3 children.
Yeah, I wanna...
You need facts, figures, scores, and scoops, and the truth. Only Sport Africa.
So it is another exciting episode of Real, Raw and Relatable with me, Romy Titus. And today I have a very interesting guest in the hot seat because just a few days ago, we watched on television this Good Samaritan saving a fan from the other team. I want to say from the opposite side. Siboniso Masango is my guest today as we chat to him about being a fan. And in a month, and I've been going on and on about this, April 11th is around the corner. And we commemorate the Ellis Park disaster. And so for me, having watched that on television and watching lives being lost literally in front of my eyes, and then closely experiencing something similar when watching Tunis, that's Esperance rather, from Tunis and Mamelodi Sundowns, it really just sent shivers down my spine. So as fans in stadia, you go knowing that you're at risk of something if it is a sold-out stadium. We can talk about Bafana, Congo-Brazzaville, out at PE. We can talk about that stadium full, Cape Town full. And if it is that we have full stadia, like we have when we have the Derby, Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, is enough being done to ensure that the lives that enter that stadium, yes, at own risk, are safe and that they'll make it back to their beds that night safely as well. Whether it is that they're happy or they're sad about what the end result might have been. So he is here. Siboniso, thank you so much. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for your time and for coming and choosing us to chat to today.
Hi, Romy. Thank you very much for having me. I've had the craziest 6 days.
I can imagine.
And so to be here is a pleasure, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. I think I have to thank you for your service, because if it wasn't for you that day, there might be an Esperance fan who was not in one piece.
And I'm being reminded every day. I think I'm still yet to properly digest the magnitude of what happened. Because every 5-10 minutes, I'm speaking to someone else, telling them what happened and replaying the entire thing. I don't think I've gotten a chance to properly by myself sit and really digest what's happened.
You could have walked away. You could have ensured that you are okay, because you are your own, I guess, responsibility, right? Why didn't you?
I truly don't know. But also, I mean, if you really think about it, we all don't want to see someone die at a football match. That's not something anyone would love to see. I can just imagine the headlines should someone have died. As you mentioned, 2001 Ellis Park. That's not something you want to ever see again. So I think, I don't know, I just, as a football lover, something just came over me and I just said that can't happen.
It didn't happen. You made sure that it didn't happen. We all watched it. That clip went viral. If it is that you don't know Siboniso Masango, you know him now. He goes by the Good Samaritan, who saved a man who was hanging literally off the side of the, I don't know what it is, the stadium, off the side of, like, I think the mezzanine, or I don't even know what tier it is. But take me through what happened that day, please, Siboniso, because from where we sit, we're watching football, but eventually football doesn't take center stage, right? It is the animosity. I want to call it hatred almost, between the fans from these two opposing teams, Esperance and Mamelodi Sundowns.
From my point of view, everything was okay initially, really. Sundowns has hosted North African teams before, plenty of times. And they've always had their own section that's been cordoned off by the officials and the security. And so same thing happened on that particular day. The only difference, however, I must say, is that on this day, there was just a barrier separating the Sundown supporters and the Esperance supporters.
So when you say barrier, is it like that metal fence?
That metal fence, yes. Typically, it's the metal fence and a row of security officials.
Mm-hmm.
But on that particular day, it was just the
Metal
fence. I assume they were not expecting a sold out crowd, which is why maybe they didn't go full on as they usually would when we're playing an Al Ahly or Wydad. So that's one observation that I made when the game started, that, things seem
pretty cordial here,
like,
it's a derby, because Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates fans sit together, and there's no cordoning off. So yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's okay. Enjoyed the match, and yes, immediately after the match, things just went left.
Who starts it? Because I know that on social media, the one team is blaming, this finger pointing. From where I sit, I think equally either team should bear responsibility. Because, either teams retaliated, right? Now there's animosity. I'm going to have my say. You're going to have your say. There's going to be some argy-bargy.
Yes. 3 minutes after full time, final whistle, you see some, and maybe that perhaps another mistake with the organizing is the Esperance fans were placed upstairs. Mm-hmm. So 3 minutes after full time, the Esperance fans that are upstairs are already pouring water to the Sundowns fans downstairs. Mm-hmm. So immediately the fans upstairs, the Esperance fans upstairs, are pouring water towards the Sundowns fans at the bottom. And they have a back and forth. Mm-hmm. The guys at the bottom, guys at the top.
So now what, are they flinging water at each other at this point, or is it only water falling down? And
well, the Esperance fans just throw water first. Mm-hmm. There's been reports by some people who were downstairs that no, that wasn't water. They were actually peeing.
Oh no!
That's what the reports from the guys who were
receiving.
They say that wasn't water, and so that starts the back and forth between the top and the bottom. Still nothing too serious. Still nothing too hectic. Just people flinging bottles at each other. When it starts to really look like, okay, security should intervene now, is when the Esperance fans start tearing down the Mamelodi Sundowns stadium branding. And so they're starting to pull down the stadium branding, starting to vandalize essentially. That's when it starts to go left, because then you see the Sundowns supporters that were seated next to them now. They notice, hey, what are you doing? And they then start to approach the Esperance fans. And that's when you then start to see, okay,
we're fighting now.
Now it's a fight. And it's not just the guys downstairs anymore, because the guys downstairs, you could say it's harmless. They throwing bottles at each other. Some miss, some don't. But now, with the fans upstairs, it's a direct confrontation. There's no distance between us. It's just
man on man now, fan on fan. Where are you? Where are you situated and seated throughout the entire game until the madness happens?
So everything happens in the eastern stand.
East would be not the tunnel side.
Not the tunnel side.
Opposite side.
Opposite side of the tunnel. And I am on the north stand.
No, okay, so west is where the tunnel is.
West is the tunnel. Where the fight starts and happens is across by the east.
From the goalposts side.
From the no. Oh, where I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm behind the goalkeeper.
Okay.
I'm behind the goalkeeper on the north side.
All right.
That is where I am seated, and I'm seeing all these things happen. It's happening towards my left, and I'm just there standing, looking, much like everybody else in the stadium.
Like you're just like, yeah.
I noticed even me, the players, both Esperance and Sundowns players, and security on the field we're just looking. And we're seeing all this unfold.
Are players safe at this point? Because fans are fighting. What's happening on the pitch and the safety of the players? Can you remember what you saw?
Yes, the fans were looking with us the players were looking with us fans, looking at what's happening. I did see some Sundowns officials when it was happening. They started to run towards the action to try and calm it down, because the stadium announcer was also saying, Esperance, please stop looking.
So you're watching all of this unfold. What are you thinking? Are you like, why the hell did I leave my house today? Did that cross your mind?
No. But I really, to be honest, Romy, I had no idea it would really turn into something like a real fight. Because at first it was just bottles. People are throwing empty
We see that all the time,
all
right?
the time. And then the Esperance fans just started pulling out some flares. The Esperance fans started pulling out those grey metal barriers. They had the strength to pull those out and start throwing that. And that's when you knew it was good. Oh my God, this is...
Serious.
Yes. And I must say also, it's not necessarily all Esperance fans or all Sundowns fans. And also, what would angry Sundowns fans, and maybe influence of alcohol also, substances, but what should they do when people are attacking them with flares? And what should Esperance fans do when people are retaliating?
Yeah.
And it's hard to de-escalate a situation when it's gotten that far.
So you're watching all of this unfold. At no point do you want to run to safety. I mean, are you also, I mean, I know sometimes it's fight or flight, you know, where some people will run. Some might run towards the danger. That's a journalist. Some might run towards safety. But it seems like you just stay. Are you shocked? Are you a little bit paralyzed even by what you see? So much so that you might not even be registering, I'm in danger here. I too might be in danger. Let me get out.
When it was happening, I believed that we were safe because, as I said, we're at the north stand. So we felt safe. When that changed is when the Esperance fans started to run away and they were running to the north stand. That is when we then start to realize, oh, it's now coming towards us. And so what happened was the Esperance fans, they were trying to, and if you know Loftus, that particular corner where they were, it's a simple jump, or not jump, a simple climb to get from the east end to the north end. Typically on a normal day, anyone can make that climb. It's fairly easy.
You just fling yourself over.
Fling yourself over, very easy. But on this particular day, there's 100, 200 people trying to climb at the same time. That makes it a bit...
So they're trying to climb over to safety.
To safety.
All right. So there's a bit of a stampede happening. And the flinging over from one side to the other over that barricade, which you say, yes, is easy. I see it. But this day, it's just too many people trying to get to safety.
Yes. And so we then start to realize, oh, these people are coming towards us. And even in them coming towards us, they see danger. They're trying to get to safety. And so any Sundown supporter is against them. So when they are running towards us, you're not running towards us thinking that we're going to embrace them. They're throwing stuff at us to try to get us out the way because they're assuming
we're going to
fight them back. So that's when we start to see, oh, we're not just safe here anymore. And so people around me also then start to prepare themselves and say, okay, these guys are coming towards us.
It's funny, so are you still not anywhere registering that you are in danger?
Not at that point, no.
Where is your mind?
I'm just in awe at, oh my God, this is really happening.
But why aren't you running?
I have no idea. That's a good question. I have not thought about it.
Because I watch you there and I'm just like, you seem in shock, right? But you also seem calm. You don't seem too, I mean, I'd be hyperventilating there, you know, but you just seem, okay, this is happening. I'm in shock. And then you don't move. You're just there.
I can't explain it. But I did also, I guess a part of me also was just worried seeing all those people try to climb over and saying, oh, that doesn't look safe. That
Hey.
yeah, way too many of you are trying to climb at the same time and no one is giving in because amongst themselves they're trying to get to safety.
You don't shout at any point like slow down, like
No.
be careful, like you just...
I'm observing. I'm saying,
you're just there.
I'm saying, oh my God, you shouldn't be doing that. Then you start to hear screams now. Screams are now, I mean, everybody was jostling and shouting, but now you start to hear screams. And you start to wonder, okay, what's going on? And you see people pointing now. You look at what they're pointing and you see a man hanging on for dear life. And
Where did he come from? How did he end up where he ended up?
he was trying to climb over. So he was trying to climb over, and in them jostling for position to climb, he somehow got pushed. And unfortunately, as he was trying to climb, because again, I said it's about 100, 200 of them climbing at the same time. They're not even giving each other an opportunity to climb properly. And so in that situation of him trying to climb, that's when he fell over. And I didn't see him at first because I'm
You're
looking
watching
at the people.
I guess he's not also your vantage point because you're not looking down. You're looking at what's ahead.
Yes.
In front of you, what's coming.
So you start to hear screams, loud screams. People are pointing. The people that I'm with around me are also just looking, and they saying, "What's going on?" So just someone took a small walk and said, bonang, bafethu. I'm like, okay, I look, I just see a guy. All I saw was his head, really, because he was trying to get up, and I said, "Oh God!" Immediately ran.
How far down would it have been had he have fallen?
So we were so Loftus is 5 floors high. We were on the 4th floor. So I would say at about 20 to 30 meters.
Ouch.
Because we were at the 4th floor. 20 to 30 meters is probably how high he was. And so just immediately ran to him.
It's the first time you run, Siboniso. You were rooted in the same place watching the mayhem unfold. And I guess instinct kicks in now because it could have been you hanging on the other side, right? Almost falling 4 floors down.
Immediately ran. Could have been me. And like I said, instinct. Instinct, adrenaline, just nothing going through my mind other than
Help the man.
Held out my hand. Before I approached him, held out my hand. Said, I'm coming, hold on. Immediately got to him, grabbed his forearm. Grabbed him, his left, grabbed him here. Grabbed his forearm. And again, I wasn't thinking about it. I just instinctively grabbed his forearm. And as I grabbed his forearm, I now get a feel of essentially how his grip is to the railing. And I realized that if my finger here is the railing, his hands were here.
He's not even holding on.
But
that railing is so thick as well that you don't get a good grip. So he's slipping.
Instinctively, I just grabbed his forearm. Tried to lift his forearm up just to get his palm at least onto the railing. I did that. Once we were able to do that, I realized this man is heavy. I can't do this.
Oh my word.
I immediately start screaming at the Esperance fans. Screaming, help, hey, help. Did that for a few seconds and none of them even looked my way. Few of them threw some bottles my way. And saw that, okay, it's just me and this man here. Turn my attention back to him. He looks me in the eye, Romy, and he says to me, please don't let me go. I have 3 children. Imagine someone saying that to you. Please don't let me go. I have 3 children.
I want to cry.
It then clicks to me that he thinks I was there to push him over. I repeated 1,000,000 times, no, don't worry, I won't let you go. I'm here. I will not let you go. And that was in that moment I realized, okay, we are in a bit of a situation.
Is no one looking around thinking that you are the reason why this man is hanging down? Because obviously you're on 2 opposing sides when it comes to who it is you're supporting this day. And the violence broke out between 2 teams. So we have an Esperance fan hanging down the side of the stadia, you've got a Sundowns fan holding this man who has pleaded, please don't let me go. I mean, if it didn't end up the way it did, Lord forbid, everybody could have thought that, listen, you are deliberately pushing this man over the side. Did that cross your mind at all?
That crossed my mind afterwards, actually. I was even having a conversation with my grandmother. And she was saying, so when you say, if that man died, they were going to say, well, why were you there?
We'd be seeing you in Sun City now.
Mm-hmm. My grandmother was telling me this, and she was saying, either you would have fallen with him, or you would be blamed for his death because you were the one who had your hands on him. And if he does fall, how do we prove that you didn't push him? And I started to realize that once I had that conversation, and she was just saying, this entire thing can only be God. And
amen and amen.
And there's no really, on my side, there is no explaining what went through my mind. I just reacted.
And thank God you did, Siboniso. Thank God you did, because that situation could have ended completely different. And it could have also have ended where maybe you would just run home, right? Mm-hmm. Which ultimately, when I watched this, what I wished you would have done. Go home to your family, who are probably seeing you on the television right now. Are you a father?
No.
Not? But I mean, you've got your loved ones, who care for you or concerned about you. So now you're holding on and you're realizing, heavy man, you grabbed him on the forearms, way to go. But you're also realizing, too heavy to pull up, and it could be both of us over the side of this railing. Now what? And you're screaming for help as well.
I'm screaming for help as well, not getting any help. There's some objects being flung at me. And then I grab his backpack. He had a backpack on. I grab his backpack and I say to him, jump. My logic there was, jump up, because I was going to pull up on his backpack.
Yeah.
And my logic was, as I pull you up, use that momentum to also just fling your body upwards. And let's just get your legs as close as possible to the top. And we did that about 4 or 5 times, just trying to get that momentum up, pulling him up. And eventually we did it.
Just the two of you?
Just him and I.
No one else?
Romy, I am not that strong, and I have no idea how we achieved that.
Look at you guys. Then he makes it over the railing. What is the commotion like around you? Can you remember that at all? You've just saved this man from falling. I'm sure he's also now realizing. In your mind's eye, what else do you see?
Esperance fans running.
Still,
Esperance fans running. Also, this man, his name is Fituri. He's also just saying, brother, get me to safety. I'll give you whatever you want. Please. I have three boys. Get me to safety. And I just told him, relax.
We'll stay here. Should be safe here.
We'll be fine. He said, no, please. And so we went to the back. Ran to the back, and immediately as we got there, he hugged me, started crying. He cried and was just telling me.
You cried too?
As he was crying, I started crying.
No, because I want to cry.
As he cried, I started crying. And in that moment, he's saying thank you to me. And I just keep saying, I'm sorry that happened to you. I am so sorry that happened to you. And he's just, at that point, just saying, you saved my life. And again, I wasn't, in that moment, I'm just, because I can imagine his point of view and what he's thinking, and I'm just apologizing to him. I'm sorry you went through that. You're safe now. I'm here. You're safe. He did not want to leave me. He tried to enter an electricity room
Just to feel safe.
just to feel safe.
Oh man.
He tried to open the door. He said, I can't be here. I can't be here. I have 3 boys at home. I have to get to my boys at home. And he was trying to open an electricity room. And I said, don't worry. I'm here. As long as I'm here, we're fine. I had to calm him down. And he was just crying. For about 10 to 20 minutes, he was just crying.
And you stayed? You stayed with him?
I was with him the whole time. Stayed with him.
Because again, you can go to safety, right? Vanessa, you didn't know that, right?
I could just leave.
Like you two are in danger here, and you're concerned about Vittori. And I guess he also had to go into a panic mode after what it is that he went through, and then realizing that he is okay. But yes, I'm not falling to my death, but I'm not quite okay yet. And then the two of you hide out where?
We hid in one of the tunnels, really. Because also, and I think rightfully so, the Esperance fans were scared. Rightfully so. And the Sundowns fans also, the reason why he essentially didn't feel safe and we had to find a place to hide was because there were still Sundowns fans downstairs who were trying to get up to the Esperance fans. The police had managed to, or the security, not the police, had managed to...
No police at this point.
At this point, still no police. Just
How many
stadium
minutes
security.
in are we?
Well, about 12 minutes in.
Okay.
12 minutes in. From the time the fight starts to when him and I are now at the back. 12 minutes in, still no police, it's just security. No more security. So they had managed to diffuse the situation on the stands. But the Sundowns fans had now left the stands and gone around and...
On the outer side of
the outer side of the
Loftus,
stadium,
yeah.
yes. And they're now trying to break into this particular section because that's where most of the Esperance fans were. They were now trying to break into that particular section to get to the Esperance fans. And that is why they felt unsafe and felt like this is not over.
Yeah.
And so that's why they said, they found their own corner. Fituri himself did not even want to join the Esperance fans. The only place he felt safe was with me.
you.
He did not want to go join his countrymen. He said, don't leave me. Stay with me, stay with me. And I just stayed with him. We found like a tunnel somewhere around the stadium.
Own hideout.
Own hideout, and it was just him and I, and we were there, just both crying. We stayed. When we did come out, there were police officers now. They started dispersing smoke bombs. They did fire, rubber bullets.
Rubber bullets, yeah.
They did fire some rubber bullets to try get the crowd to calm down and stop chasing, stop chasing the Esperance supporters. And so, yeah.
You go home after that?
I go home. After him and I stood up and he reconvened with his countrymen, said goodbye. Firstly, he was just telling everyone in Arabic, this man. And he was just, anybody who would listen, he was saying, this man saved my life to anybody who would listen. But again, in that moment, I'm trying to get him to a paramedic because he couldn't move his arm. His right arm was completely, he couldn't move
Numb,
it.
probably. Yeah, he
Couldn't
had to
move.
hold on for dear life. I can imagine.
So I'm saying, leave your people, stop telling them that I saved you, let's get to a paramedic so we can get some help. And so got him to a paramedic, left him there, said bye. Again, I'm sorry for what happened to you. And I left. I went home. Told my mom, oh.
You went home and your mom is waiting for you.
Yes.
And she saw you on television, right?
Not yet at this
Oh,
point.
she didn't?
Got home, told my mom, oh, no, the game was cool. But there was a fight. She says, oh, there's a fight. Like, yeah, there's a fight. So yeah, I'm fine though, nothing happened. She says, okay. Went to bed.
You're not sharing the full.
I'm not sharing the full
might of what went down.
I'm not sharing the full story.
I'm sure you also just need a moment, right?
Yeah.
Getting home, you're safe now.
Yeah, I just went to bed. slept. I woke up. Oh no, actually, before I went to bed, tell her, yeah, there was a fight, have some injuries. My arm was swollen a bit. I still have some injuries here, but my forearm was swollen. My knee was scraped also.
But is that also from, I guess, pulling
So-
on the backpack?
Yes, the knee was from when I was pulling on the backpack because I was using the wall as support. My arm was because my arm was being pressed against the railing itself as I was trying to pull him up. So
And you didn't check out the paramedic when you took Victoria there?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
I just went home, told her, yeah, there was a fight, and yeah, I got hurt a bit, but I'm fine. She says, okay, cool. Have some Maybelline or something like that. Slept, woke up the next morning, and my phone is just going off. Messages. I see the picture. I see the pictures. I see the videos. I'm like, this thing. Okay, I'll see it. I wake up. My mother's like, Siboniso, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, what? She says, your grandmother has sent me some videos that she's gotten from your cousins. I'm seeing that this is you, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, why didn't you tell me this? I'm like, tell you what? Then she explains to me, you saved someone's life. Only then does it start to actually make sense to me that, okay, this actually might be a real thing. I thought it happened, we're done, it's over. But once she said, why didn't you tell me? This is a big thing, is when I start to realize, okay, this actually is a real thing. And so it was very normal to me.
I guess in the moment it was normal and you did what you said very intuitively. There's a man hanging down the side. He needs help. I'm the closest to him. Let me help him. I don't think at any point in time are you doing anything for the socials. You know, are you worried about going viral? And I guess this is society that we live in, right? Everybody does everything for clicks and likes and, you know, oh, is this going to go viral? But it does. It does for all the right reasons, in my opinion. Did you think what you did would be captured the way it was, and that we, who weren't there, maybe watching on TV, would be able to go back? Did you think it was just a moment in time of something you did and no one saw?
No, I thought most of the conversation would just be about finger pointing. After that thing happened, I assumed, oh, okay, all you're going to see is who started it, who started that. That's all we're going to see, and that's all that's going to matter. I didn't think that particularly there'd be specific videos about that particular moment. Never crossed my mind.
I guess there were so many moments within that moment, you know, that to have captured that. How do you feel now? How do you feel that, like you said, it's been a whirlwind of 6 days, because I'm sure everybody wants your perspective. Everybody wants to hear what happened. And it's one of those stories, I think, in a world where there's only bad news, you know, that we get to share and delve deeper into the bravery, you know, the selflessness, the time that you took just to help a fellow human being, regardless of the fact that he comes from the opposing team compared to the one that you support. How do you feel? How do you, I know it's surreal. I know you told me you haven't had a minute, but just as you sit, your innermost thoughts and feelings about that situation. Give me some words.
A lot of the credit also just has to go to a lot of South Africans and Tunisians who have just sent messages. And a lot of people people just say, thank you for your bravery, thank you. But we have a lot of people who are just sending and saying, it's so good to see that Ubuntu is still around. There's so much negative publicity around South Africa at the moment. They kept saying it's so good to see that there's still people out there who believe in good, who see other people as human beings. And that gives me perspective also. It helps me understand that just be a good human being. It helps me understand that as South Africans, we're not what they say we are.
Mm.
And just people, Tunisians also, who may have had a perception of South Africa, they are calling saying, thank you so much for helping our brother. Thank you so much. And overwhelming, all the messages, but truly, truly, it does give me perspective as to this whole situation and how just being a good human being, how it really can impact lives.
Are you going back to the stadium?
Whew, I have a crucial match on on Sunday in the Nedbank semi-finals.
Correct.
Against the team that I still have a grudge with, and I will always celebrate Kaizer Chiefs' demise. And so,
You're going back to the stadium, though.
I'm not. And
Are you ready?
people asked me this, and I said, even with my grudge against Kaizer Chiefs, I'm not sure I want to go to the stadium just yet.
Where are we again? Where's that match?
Sunday
Where?
at Loftus.
Eish, Batum. It's too soon, hey?
Literally
It's
a
too
week.
Soon.
Literally a week.
Do you think that it would help maybe if you walked that stadium prior to going in again as a spectator?
Yes, just to get some time alone there, and just I actually believe that would help. Yes.
Look at that. I mean, it's a very small ask for someone who wants to return to support their team. To go back, have you sought help? Or do you think you're okay and you don't need perhaps some psychotherapy?
Like I said, I have not even gotten that far yet. Things that shocked me about myself in this entire thing is I'm actually an emotional human being. I cried as the incident happened, but even talking to people and just hearing them speak to me, I cry about it. Speaking to the guy whose life I saved, Fitori, when we speak on the phone, I cry. And I don't think I've properly digested this entire thing. I don't think I've actually, like I said, taken a moment to actually fully understand what it is. Hence, I'm not even sure I would be comfortable going to the stadium and seeing that again.
What do you think needs to be done? And I think you're the perfect person to be able to motivate for the safety of fans after having gone through this ordeal. What will make you feel safe again at the North Side? Anywhere actually.
South Africa and stadium security, we have our history with that, right? And each season there's always something. It doesn't get this far, but there's always something. There's always threats of mini stampedes outside because of ticketing issues and things like that. And so there's stadium security in South Africa that's always, it seems as though it's never being properly looked at or challenged. But in my opinion, I really think the rules are there. I think the only issue is the enforcement of these rules. I swear to you, Romy, we all know, for example, don't smoke. There's kids there. There's a 10-year-old kid watching there smoking. And you're smoking in front of that kid. The security is right there.
Have security. Have enough security for the amount of people in a stadium. You're right. We know it all. I'm not too sure the exact number, but per 1,000 there needs to be, I speak under correction, but 10,000 security, for example, on different tiers. And not just security in jail for the sake of somebody putting on a reflector jacket. Security who knows what to do if someone drops dead by their feet. Not that they're going to panic too, Yes. And I think a lesson is learned here, and such a valuable one, Siboniso. You being the vehicle of perhaps at Ubuntu, like you said, but being the vehicle also as to how things can turn so quickly. And it could have been so different. I'm so happy it isn't, and we're here to tell a good news story, but it could have been so different. Your team, Sundowns. Have you always been a Sundowns lover?
Yeah, since birth. I was born in Mamelodi, raised in Mamelodi. And so Sundowns, it's always been there for me. And And I was born in 96. So I remember a time when we used to play at HMPJ in Mamelodi.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm lifelong Sundowns supporter.
Your favorite moment
Favorite moment?
with your club as a supporter?
2016, Lucas Moripe Stadium. And Tebogo Langeman scores the opening goal in the CAF Champions League final. Favorite moment?
Saddest moment?
Saddest moment. My first football match was at Loftus, 2007. And it was Gift Leremi's first Sundowns match. That was my first football match. Gift Leremi passed away 2 weeks later.
Oh,
And he was, 21, 22 years old. And that's saddest moment.
will Sundowns win their 8th consecutive league this season?
Ooh. 5 games left? Number 8. I think it will be bagged within the next month. I think 8 consecutive, for sure.
Favorite current Sundowns player?
Favorite current Sundowns player? I really love Aubrey Modiba.
Postman.
I really love Postman. Zeda. I love him.
Maposa.
He is, yeah. A lot of people don't notice what he does on the pitch, but that man, look carefully. Postman.
If you could send out one wish, I guess all eyes are on you, right? If you didn't know Siboniso Masango, you know him now. If it's one wish that you would like for it to come true, what wish would that be? And if Sundowns could make it happen?
I would really love to go to the Club World Cup this year.
I love that. Siboniso, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming through and recollecting. I'm sure it's not easy. And I know that you're saying it's been a whirlwind of a week where you're relaying the story. But thank you for being at the right place at the right time and giving of yourself so selfishly. And I hope that this moment doesn't go wasted. It doesn't go wasted in a month, like I was saying, Ellis Park disaster commemoration. We could be here telling a completely different story, but we're not. And I think we're not, because there is time for us to be able to go back to the drawing board, the powers that be, and to fix and make things safe again for supporters and for fans. And with all of that said, keep waving the Sundowns flag high. I love your passion. And your mom should have given you the hiding of your life. After she got all those videos, it is actually what she should have done. And then Vittori. I mean, from all of us here at Omni, we're happy that he's safe too. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much, Romy.
More than welcome, Siboniso Masango. As I said, if you don't know him, you do know him now, the Good Samaritan that saved the life of a man hanging down the side of a stadium when the stampede happened about a week ago out at Loftus, when Esperance and Mamelodi Sundowns locked horns.